Good morning, guys.
Morning.
I hope you enjoyed the intro there. I put a little guitar work in for you.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
You playing? Oh.
We haven't got Wayne yet to play online, right?
Oh,
We're working for it.
Come on.
a Sunday morning jam session.
There we go. All right. So welcome to today's stream. Right. I'm Dave, Harleys, Diners, Rides. And we also have with us Kev.
Hi, Superman Kev 2001. It's me, Kev.
And pass over to Wayne.
So Jarvis Biker, Facebook, I'm Jarvis Biker Moto, and 2005 Goldwing and 2012 Concord. That's what we're riding.
Very good. And special guest with us today, we really appreciate them coming on with us today no, the other way. I got to go the other way. Right? We have Angie and Sonny from the Badgers, right? Welcome, guys.
What's up, guys?
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm seeing the comments over there. I see John Price is in New Hampshire today. He's actually from Georgia, and then you got Tulsa, Oklahoma in the house, too.
Yeah. Yeah. And Dead Knot, which is Rob, he's from the East Coast. He's down in Nova Scotia. He's a regular to our stream. Morning, Rob.
Good morning.
So, listen, before we get into today's topic, Ange and Sonny, why don't you tell us just a little bit about the Badgers?
A little bit about the Badgers. Well, back in 1912, the Badgers, we are a husband and wife team that we just love to ride motorcycles. We've ridden across the country a few times, and one day we decided we were going to share it with the world, so we started doing videos and all. But we are the crazy people that came up with the idea of the World Record Poker Run. We have Facebook, which is the Badgers and the Biker Lifestyle. We are also the creators of Support Bikers. So we have the website, supportbikers.com. We also have the Facebook group, Support Bikers. We also have a Facebook group called the Badgers and the Biker Lifestyle, which is a private group where bikers only hang out. We have Instagram. I am Sonny the Badger. She is
Biker, Mama Badger.
We also have Support Bikers on Instagram. And then our YouTube channel is youtube.com/the Badgers. I know it's a lot.
That's a lot. Listen to you say
And I don't think I left anything out, but that I possibly could have.
Wow, that's a lot. Now, is this a full-time job for you guys, or?
It pretty much
Well,
is.
so that's kind of a funny story. It was never meant to be a full-time job. We own a credit card processing company, and that's what we've always paid our bills with. But as we got into this more and more, now we have sponsors, and sponsors pay us to do videos. We have sponsors from all over the country. And so, yeah, this funny. I sat down the first time the other day with a buddy of mine who does my payroll, and we were meeting with another guy, and the guy looked at me and said, "What do you do for a living?" And I said, "I ride motorcycles." And he's like, "What?" It's like, "Yeah, I ride motorcycles for a living." So that was kind of cool to say. But yeah, pretty much at this point we do it full time.
Wow, wow,
Cool.
So how many hours a day, days per? I guess your day off is like going for a ride without the cameras.
Yeah, that very rarely ever happens. I'll be honest. There really is no such thing as a day off. Being self-employed and now being in the social media realm. I mean, people are always like, "Today's a day off. Can we do a reel today? Can we take pictures? What are the kids doing? Can they come take pictures with us?" So it's always, I mean, you're always like thinking, right? We're in the shower in the morning going, "Well, what about this video? And this is an idea. And how about this?" And it's just kind of insane.
Yes, we shower together in the morning, and that is our
that's our planning time.
Oh no, and I'll be honest. Right now, the three of us, when we're on a sidebar or FaceTime each other, we'll be going, "Are what? You got to watch these guys, But we'll have the discussion of it's the end of February. Do you have any more videos that you can put out? Are you running dry of ideas?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the thing they got to realize too is that we got 2 feet of snow.
Yes, yes, and that's it. I mean, when we left Missouri for Florida, I mean, we're in the perfect place in the world to do the social media stuff for motorcycles because I mean, we ride every
We
day.
have no excuse.
I know we can't, and that also makes us kind of unique in our channel because instead of us having videos for like 3 weeks ahead, which most great YouTubers do, we're like. I call us reality TV.
Mhm.
I record on Thursday and post on Friday. I
Wow.
record on Friday and post on Sunday. So we do that so that you guys, basically our fans, get to live what we're living. So we do a lot of lives on Facebook and then we take those and just turn them into YouTubes.
Mhm.
I mean,
I call us the Kardashians of. What?
Stop that.
Who are the Kardashians?
It's that bringing everybody along, and it's not 3 weeks behind.
Right. Yeah. And I watched your I was with you for your Friday ride on Friday.
Yes.
Right, where you
I
talked about
recorded
your
that Thursday.
That was the first
Thursday. So I do a Thursday ride for a Friday ride.
Yes.
Yes, and it was all about your daughter going to get her
She's
bike
in class
license.
right now.
right now.
Oh, she is in the course, is she?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's a 3-day thing. So this is day 3. This is the final day.
Wow. Well, good for her. Great to have her. And you know what? The women riders are an ever growing group. Harley. They're targeted by Harley, right? As new riders.
Yeah, I used to train. I was an instructor in one of those courses.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did that for about 3 years.
Oh,
And
wow.
So on my channel, I do some instructional videos from the course, but in my driveway or in a parking lot. Yeah.
Mhm.
Apparently they were training this weekend. She had people that were training to be trainers.
Training trainers.
Like had like the double crew in there, which actually made her course longer instead of them ending at what time? 2 they were supposed to end at. It was like 5.
Now that would be positive to her because she gets to see what's going on with the trainers and that, right?
Yeah, which she's followed along with us, and we've been business and entrepreneurs and just watching things like that anyway. So for her, I'm sure she's like, "Yep, I'm used to this."
Yeah. Oh, good stuff. Right. And then hopefully she's going to join you on your largest poker run from Florida to South Dakota.
Yeah.
Yes. So hopefully her and like 400 other people.
Yeah. What an excellent. We've got one of our followers, Rob from Dead Knot. He's in the Canadian military, and they've got a rolling barrage ride that goes across country. So he's kind of watching what you guys are doing and hoping he can do similar with the ride that he's on. Right. So
what? If you need help with anything, we are an open book.
Yeah.
Reach out to us. We'll be happy to help.
We'll be happy.
Great. Now, Angie, I didn't stay on long enough yesterday because you did a live Facebook with 2 other women, and you named your charity that you were going to. So, can you give us just a quick rundown on that? Who's your charity?
You want to take it? Or you want me to?
I can.
Okay. Yes.
So we chose an organization out of Colorado. Lori is the founder, and the name of it is Biker Down. Her website is bikerdown.org, and our website being supportbikers.com, and our tagline being bikers supporting bikers. We wanted to have an organization that did just that, supported bikers somehow, some way, and didn't exclude anybody. And so her foundation, if you get into an accident or a family member needs to reach out with questions because of a loved one getting in an accident, then they are there. She's there to help you from the minute you make that phone call to the end, even into fundraising. And I think that was the big thing, is helping fundraise, fundraise the right way, and just the tips and tricks and things that she can give you to help you.
They have their own version, basically, of GoFundMe. GoFundMe takes like 8%. They take 0%.
Yeah.
So they can literally help the family get a fundraiser going for their biker that went down. And so on our page, we get a ton of requests for GoFundMes, and we won't post them, not because we don't want to help. I don't have the time or capacity to go in and verify that each one of these is legitimate. But if you go through Biker Down, we'll be happy to share it with all of our followers, because we know it's a legitimate fundraiser. She makes you go through the process to know everything before she fundraises for you.
Yeah.
So, that's it. We were just looking for a legitimate way to help all bikers, and so this was it.
And we didn't choose a big organization. We it's all about biker sport, the little guys too. I mean, we want an organization that has a good cause, that needs our help, that we could raise money for.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm on the map with you guys. You're biker support. So I think there's only 3 YouTubers in Ontario. There's myself and 2 others. Yeah. Kevin, Wayne, I think we're going to have to get you on there too. So
it's completely free, guys. We built Support Bikers just for that. So you can go on to Support Bikers and you can pull up like YouTubers, and it'll pull them all up. So you can go find someone you've never watched before. You can go support their channel. There's bikers. So if you roll into town, you can look up what bikers are in that town. Ask them where the good rides are. Where's the best place to hang out? Where to eat? And biker-owned businesses. So the goal is for bikers to be able to support bikers.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Goldwingers have a system like that too, that like worldwide you can see where other riders are that are in the group.
Awesome. Yep.
Yeah. Good stuff. Well, listen, great intro. Thanks very much. And we look forward to hearing about your successful ride, right? Hopefully you have good weather, sunshine. We went to Sturgis in 2017, right? From Keswick, Ontario. And it was, I was really amazed. We went over the top of the Great Lakes instead of underneath. And when we hit the highway, I forget what highway it was, but anyway, the GPS says, oh, you turn right in 650 miles. Right? So, but that's another story. That's another story. I had a great time in South Dakota. We were there for Sturgis, and what a fantastic, we can't wait for the border to open up again so that both you and us can enjoy each other's countries, because both of us have fantastic roads and people to meet. So
absolutely
looking forward to that.
That sounds like Max.
Oh yeah. So Angie and Sonny, we have a 1-year-old German Shepherd. And
I saw her she was barking at the stick in your show. That one with the RV.
Yeah. That was over a piece of wood, right?
Yeah.
Because she'll become fixated on something and she'll pounce on it, she'll chase it around and barks the whole time, right? So anyway, she's a beautiful, loving pup. Our grandkids just love her. She's great for people. Her and the cat don't get along though, right? So we've got them both in counseling right now, but it's not paying off. So let's talk about what our topic is today. So in this sense here, by now we've already had 3 motorcycle shows normally.
Yeah.
And for you with in the US, I understand your bike shows are still going, aren't they?
Well, we're wide open. We're headed to Daytona in a week and a half. We went to Daytona last fall, Leesburg, and Sturgis. And we're doing our thing.
So for us, we just come out of a stay-at-home order, and where the whole province of Ontario was pretty much shut down. Restaurants, hair salons, things like that. Only the essential businesses were open.
Everybody.
Wow.
So now it's started to open up. Lori and I had our first date night last night that we haven't had since, I don't know, at the end of 2020. What are you guys smirking about?
Kev and I interrupted.
Yeah, we interrupted their date night.
Awesome.
You cannot get away from you guys.
Well, I thought they had something important to say, but
No, we just wanted to tease you.
Lori actually called them while I was in the washroom and told them we're on date night. He's not calling you back.
Yeah, we were having a great conversation with her, and then he came back.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. Most people, once they've met Lori, forget about who I am, right?
That's right.
Who's the guy with Lori, right? All right, so Lori's not here, so you have to put up with me. All right, so our topic today is bike shows. All right, what we like about bike shows, what we do at bike shows in the sense of buy motorcycles, buy parts or accessories. And also the whole discussion then is, in the absence of a bike show or shows, what do we do? Do we turn to, buying things online, or, how do dealers, right? You being proprietors of support bikers, right? How do you do things, online, that type of thing? So we're going to start off with the first question. And the first question is, and do you attend any motorcycle shows? And if so, what do you like about them? Right? Obviously, we can say we like motorcycles, but what else, right? Because bike shows are more than just rows and rows of bikes. There's so much more that goes on at them. All right. So let's give Wayne. We'll go Wayne, Kevin, and then Sonny and Angie on the answers. Okay. So Wayne, you want to lead off?
Sure. So what do I like about bike shows? I like the friendship, brotherhood thing of meeting other bikers. It's a good spot to, you'd be walking by looking at a bike, and then another guy walks up beside you. You don't even know them. And you start having this in-depth conversation about that bike or your bike. Or by the time you walk away from there, you know half of where the guy lives, what kind of bikes he rides, where he's gone on trips. Like in a matter of a few seconds, you've gleaned all that information, usually from all the people that you run into during the show. What do you do in the meantime for us up here when there is no shows? Is you go back and you pull out the bag that you brought all the swag home and look at it to what you had from the years before that you still haven't opened up and used. So it's a sad time right now as far as anything to do with bike shows. It's just that wanting to get back and have things normal again and be able to go and see all the new stuff. So yeah. I guess the best thing is when it's open that you can visit the dealers, just to go see the bikes at the dealers, but it's not as handy as the bike show where you can see everybody's stuff all at the same time. So
yeah.
You know what? I love going to the bike show. I've got a couple of buddies, and one is in the chat, that we go every year, and we have a whole kind of routine that we do, and we work through the whole show. We see every single booth. I like it because I usually buy parts. That's what I do, is if or I'll buy t-shirts. I've been known to have one or two Harley Davidson clothing pieces. I say tongue in cheek.
Are they black?
Well,
yeah, a lot of them. But no, I like going to the show because I like seeing all the stuff, and it's different. Like when you can go there, there's always better deals. Like they always have show specials and all that kind of stuff, and I like it. And it's always, our biggest show is in February or January. I'm not sure. January, I guess. Or is it February? I don't know. But it's we're in the winter, and it gets us out, and it makes us think, ooh, motorcycles, and you get all excited about your bike, and usually buy a piece of shiny bit and put it on your bike when you get home, and all that kind of thing. And that's what I like about the shows.
All right, good. Hey, Sonny, Angie, what's your take on them?
So I mean, it's all about the people. We try to go see all the booths, but we never make it. I mean, we end up meeting somebody and talking to them, or we're walking through Daytona and somebody yells Badgers, and that takes off on a whole nother right turn. I love to see the bikes. So not the bikes that are for sale, but all of the show bikes, what people have poured their heart and soul into. That for me is the biggest. I personally am a big chopper fan. A lot of those have lots of handmade parts, or just parts they've recommissioned to be on the chopper. And for me, that's the best part of the shows. I can honestly say I've never bought a single product at a show. Now I may take a picture of it and go home and research it. But one thing that people will learn about me is I'm cheap. So I never buy anything retail. So I just don't. I'm not built in me. So, I go home, I research it. I find the best price on whatever it is I want, and go from there. If I can get it from my local dealer, my local shop, I will. So, that's kind of my first choice. Is local shops can usually get any parts that you need. I'm not necessarily talking about the dealerships. I'm more talking, the local mom and pop shop.
Mm-hmm.
But I try to give them the first shot at getting whatever it is I need. If they can't, then of course I can go online. I mean, you can find about anything online if you just search.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Days, yeah. For me, well, just like yesterday, last night or late afternoon, we there was a poker run going on, and we couldn't do the whole poker run, but we went to the end part. And there, as soon as I get there, next thing you know, somebody's like, hey, and they're taking me off to their boat. We're at a bar. He's taking me off to his boat, opens up his cooler, and he's like, here, to my dad and I, he's like, here's a beer, So you start out just, the people being around everybody. It's my people. Like, I feel like I belong, and that's where I'm supposed to be. And but I do love I love the vendors, and I try to get to the vendors, especially being a girl. I love bling. Like I'm that, like, I spot it, and I'm like, right there.
She's like the raccoon that sees something shiny and can't let go.
Yeah. Now, Sonny, does she point at things for you for ideas for birthday, Valentine's, Christmas? Oh, look at.
The funny thing is, we're not big present buyers. Pretty much if we want it, we buy it. And, so presents, like, we don't hardly buy each other presents.
Ah.
It's okay. It's all right. We're good with that.
I'm good with it anyway. Why would I wait for her to get it for me 3 months down the road when I want it now?
Yeah. I like surprises either. I hate surprises. I mean, Christmas is hell around here, just trying to make sure he doesn't see what we got him before.
My wife just walked past shaking her head and looking at me as if to say, that's not happening with you.
Give you any ideas?
All the time. I tell you, I've got to write them down.
Well, we know what her love language is then.
Well, listen, let me tell you about, for me, I love bike shows, right? As it's been said, it's a time of year where you shift from thinking about winter to thinking about bike shows, right? Or thinking about riding. Because in January and February, there's usually, guys, I think about 3 local to the GTA. The GTA is the Greater Toronto Area, right? Which encompasses a lot of territory. And in that area, I think we have either 3 or maybe 4 by the end of February, right? What do you think, guys? Is that right?
I think there's one in April, but there's
that's 4. The spring show, right? Yeah. And that's not counting the other shows that are Ottawa, London, Sudbury, those types of locations. So for us, a lot of our biking friends, we don't see them over the winter because, we'll see them come the summer. And for us, we take the opportunity. We there's a group of us. We'll go to the bike show. We'll go out for dinner afterwards, or we'll lunch or something like that, and just start planning our summer as to what we're going to be doing. But you're right. The bike show, it's a very large community. The bikers. Well, that from your ventures, and it's a lot of fun. But it's also a great place to go and, as you say, window shop or even buy. Right. And I'll be honest, we've bought a few things at bike shows, right? Also bought things online. We'll talk about that later. But it's just everything. It's in the environment. You'll have bands that are playing, right? You'll have fashion shows that are going on. You'll have interviews with racers or
fashion shows. Does he mean like the bikini bike washes?
I don't know what your fashion shows are up there, but ours down here are those.
Yeah. I don't think you might see biker bikini apparel on the runway, but you won't see them washing bikes around for us, right? It's still very cold. Still very cold, right? But
there's a bikini bike wash going on right now somewhere within 25 miles of where I'm at.
Right.
We would have to trailer our bikes to get there.
Come on down. You bike wash. Just ride on down.
Well, I just got in trouble from Lori because we also have a local, a brother-sister duel. They have a bike shop just up from us, and I just brought Lori's bike up there to get it all tuned up and some other accessories put on. And when I left the house, pulled out of the driveway, the roads were dry. I get about 5 minutes, outside of town, and the roads are wet. And Lori's bike was on an open trailer, and by the time I got there, so she walked past it. We got it back last week, and they hadn't washed it. Right, I told them not to. I would do it. And Lori walked past her bike, and I thought Max growled a lot, but.
And you've got that really nice trailer. You could have took it inside.
Yeah,
it is inside.
Toy hauler.
You could have took your toy hauler and took it down there.
Well, guys, look at this. I'm not that bad. Look at this. He's
not even going to talk about it.
I have bacon and I have mimosas here.
Okay, I want to see Lori. Where's she at? Say hi.
Lori. Angie wants to see you. Just a second. Oh,
you got a biker chicken here. Like
she is.
I was going to ask you.
No, Angie wants you to stick here. Come and take.
I'll say hi later. We'll do a girl show.
Oh, Angie, she'll do. Can you hear?
Rain check. I can. Rain check. I heard you say it.
She said she'll do a girl show with you. Meaning I'm in even more trouble.
Yeah,
we kind of coined this like a week or two ago, and I think we're going somewhere with it. It is
I'm going to
biker tips for beauty tips for biker chicks. And he's going to do a series, just about what to do with your hair or makeup, or because they face challenges that we don't face. So she's going to do a series, beauty tips with biker chicks, and bring some of her biker chick friends in, and it should be a blast because I don't have to do it.
Wow. Well, maybe there'll be a booth at one of the shows that we can drop by.
There you go.
Okay. All right.
Ron Hanna's got a good comment.
Cheers,
Yeah,
guys.
Ron, put Ron's comment up there.
Hold on just a second. Is Ron supporting me or is he
There you go. Yeah, we have the hall where they do it in Toronto. The show that we go to, it's about, I think there's 5 or 6 halls, and each one has different stuff, and they're all joined together. It's an enormous show. It's the biggest one, I think, in Ontario. It's in Toronto, and they have one room that's just vintage bikes. They have one room that's choppers. They have one room that's all the dealerships. They have another room that's just vendors for other stuff. They have one room that are organizations, like biker clubs and biker riding groups, all that kind of stuff. So it's a big show, really.
So that's my question for you guys. Is most of your shows, are they inside? Do you guys have that are
Yes.
outside?
Have to be. They have
Yeah.
to be. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, ours are pretty much all outside.
Yeah.
Daytona's like
We don't have bike shows in the summer. They're all in the winter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They have it if you come on your bike, like say the roads are dry and guys ride that are local. If you ride your bike to the show, you get in for free. So,
Interesting.
Huh.
Yeah, and that's one of the other. I guess the last point I was going to say is you can do a lot of research on future rides, whether they're charity rides or even riding clubs. Right, the usually the hog groups will have booths there. Southern Cruisers. Kev, did the CMC? Do they have?
Yeah, they were there. And there's all kinds, like there's like the Shriner Riders, and there's all kinds,
Motocops,
like all kinds.
Yeah. Yeah, this is how they do their, the Red Knights, the Blue Knights. They'll be there, with booths. So it's a way of, if a person's looking.
There's usually a few of the other clubs there as well.
Yeah,
they make an appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have boosts though.
No.
Okay, I think we've touched on that. Any other good comments in the sidebar? I haven't been watching, guys. I'll be honest.
I don't know. What was our next question there, Dave?
Let me roll it out to you. So our next question: would you buy new or used motorcycle parts or accessories over the internet? Yes or no, and then why? Kevin, start with you.
Yes, do it all the time. I do it more so because the HD parts sometimes are just so expensive. So I will buy. I like buying the Harley Davidson parts, and I do buy Harley Davidson parts. But there are some things I just, I put LED lights on my bike, and they're just so much cheaper to get the LED lights that are on my bike, and they're better. I think they're better than the ones from HD. I mean, it was a difference of $1,200 for the HD lights and $100 for the LEDs on Amazon. I know they're China made, but I can buy them 12 times, for the cost of the HD ones.
Well, we were walking HD, like we went in the store and Sonny was picking up the product and looking on the back to see where it was made.
Have you ever done that?
Made in China.
The only thing on the entire parts wall, I went all the way down one, and on the other one were hand grips. The hand grips were the only things made in the United States.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Harley
Video
girl.
on it.
I did a video on it. I don't know if I ever posted that video because I was like, I don't want to hurt our local dealership.
Yeah.
But I literally was walking through looking at every, because they got the electronics and the hand grips and the foot boards, and I went through every section. The only thing were the hand grips.
Yeah.
We were
To
shocked.
say I was disappointed would be like an understatement, And it's not that I got anything against parts from any other countries.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the fact that when you say Harley Davidson, you made in the USA, right?
Mm-hmm.
None of the accessories were made in the USA. So
honestly, you're just buying a product that came in packaging that said Harley Davidson, and you can say you got it at Harley Davidson, but really,
who made it? And
Yeah.
you can probably get it somewhere else.
Well, and a lot of times too, like I think some of the products that we buy that are third party are made right beside the Harley Davidson part.
Oh, I guarantee you they are.
And when you put them on your bike, they look exactly the same. They fit exactly the same, but they cost a third.
Well, you got to think from a
You'll
manufacturer's
find that throughout
standpoint.
any type of industry. You'll see that in my work. We see where some American companies have gone into China and built plants to build different items, and they get it all set up and running, and then the Chinese government comes in and says, okay, thanks, you can go now. And they take it over, and they're running bootleg items that are exact. They're using their castings to make the product, and it's not.
wow.
Well, the truth of the matter is,
like
the
that.
business.
And it's rampant everywhere over there, and that's why everybody's got the stink on about everything from China.
Yeah.
Like anything that's Japanese back in the day, I mean, originally right after the war, anything that was come out of Japan was a little bit hinky, but they really worked at getting their technology down. And like, I mean, is there a Japanese car out there that's a piece of crap anymore? Well, no. Even Korea's got really good cars coming out of there as well. I mean, like, it's the fact that they're making these parts and they're making them as cheap and as low grade materials as possible to make as much profit off it, not caring what the customer gets in the end. And you don't know because you're buying most of the stuff online. So when it shows up and you're kind of like, oh yeah, so that's it. That's what I get. Like,
Right.
right.
Yeah.
And another thing to what Kev was saying was, you know, he can go and buy all those parts. And the one thing is that, and it's the same in the Goldwing realm. Guys are updating their bikes. They're putting the little chrome pieces on. They're changing this. They're changing that. There's a pool of original parts out there. So like, say a guy dumps his bike and he needs this part or that part. These Goldwing maintenance groups that are out there, you can go on there and say, hey, I need a left-hand side cover for a 05 Goldwing. And there's like 15 guys reply back, where do you live? I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of thing. And I needed on the back of the Goldwings, there's a helmet lock. There's two of them on the back under the trunk. So you can hang your helmets under the trunk, like under the beer box, I guess, for you Harley guys, would be the best way to describe it. And you go into the trunk and you turn a little knob and these hooks drop down out of the trunk. You put your helmet loops through it and you snap it back up in. And the only way to get it back out would be destroy it if you had a pry bar or something, or you have to be able to open the trunk, which is locked, and turn that little knob. Well, mine broke. I went on within 15 minutes. I had another two coming used out of a wreck bike somewhere for like $9.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like 90 at like from Honda to get them. So
Yeah.
So you found those through the internet, Wayne?
yeah, eBay, or I think it was eBay for them. Yeah.
Okay, so buying used parts online is available for us.
Yeah, and I would put a warning in there, like anything electronic, you're taking your chance, right? Because electrical stuff, it can be a day old, it can be 100 days old, and it's either good or it's done. It's like there's no in between.
Mm-hmm.
And like an alternator or something like that, you can take it and get it rebuilt. But other than that, you're pretty well shot, right? Like if you buy something electronic. But there are, like with my case, I've got a 2005 Goldwing, and other than going to the dealer and waiting weeks for them to ship it from offshore to here, is, you know, you're buying the used stuff. And I've bought some electrical stuff, but mainly switches and stuff like that I, you know, it wasn't a big expense, and I'll take a chance and maybe it'll work and everything will be good. And that's the thing. But
Right.
as the bikes get older, you know, you're going to get into that. And me being as handy as I am, and I'm a little bit cheap too in that way too.
Man up my own heart.
Yeah, it's like, you don't want to spend it if you can. Number one, if you can do it yourself. I love working on my bike. I was out in the shop all day yesterday working on mine. It's, you know, there's a lot of content to be created for your YouTube channel when you've got an older bike. It just goes hand in hand with.
Yeah. Okay. Angie, Sonny, how about you guys?
I think this is more of a question for me, huh?
It is, because I hate to shop. I don't like to shop in person. I don't like to shop online. So that's, yeah.
I'm a lucky man. Anyway, so for parts and accessories over the internet, yeah, I bought some LED lights, like he had said, and you know, just little pieces and parts. My biggest problem is I kind of have an affinity for rare bikes, so I have I have two 2005 CVO Fat Boys. Well, they only made like 1,000 of each one of those bikes in a certain color. So, I mean, there's just not a lot of parts out there. So I have to look, online if I'm wanting like a factory original part, which kind of the whole point of a CVO is to keep it as original as possible, right?
Right.
So that's the challenge with that. And then I just bought the 04 V-Rod, and they're getting really hard to find parts for. So that's kind of been my challenge is I have an affinity for, I don't want to pull, no offense to anybody out there that has a black Street Glide, but I don't want to pull into the bike show and have to look for my bike for 20 minutes because it looks like every other bike in the parking lot. I love black Street Glides, by the way, guys. I wanted one for the longest time. That's what I wanted.
That's why I have a white bike.
Right. But that's just it. So yeah, absolutely. You just have to be careful what you're buying, right? And then where you buy it. So that would be my big key. One of the reasons that if I'm buying online, I like to buy from Amazon is they give me zero grief if I need to return it.
I agree with that too.
Whereas if you buy from a buyer off of eBay or just somebody off Facebook Marketplace, what assurances do you have? With Amazon, I know for a fact that if I don't like it, I can return it.
Right.
And
I've run into stuff and more apt to be on Amazon than the others is you don't know where it's coming from. So
right.
You order it and then all of a sudden it comes up and it says, oh, it's been shipped, and it's like, and it takes weeks and weeks and weeks. Well, it come from China.
Right.
But I thought I was dealing with a dealer in Canada. And it ended up, it was weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And finally I went back and they'd already sent me a note saying, oh, how was your experience? And how did you like the service and all that from your sale? And I was like, I'm very disappointed that this product wasn't from Canada.
Have any of you guys ever,
what's that?
Have any of you guys ever ordered something on Amazon and you order it in the morning and at the afternoon somebody's knocking at your door? I've had that happen here once.
Yeah, never.
No, I've never had that.
It's like, holy moly. Like, how the heck did they get from, I put an order in the morning and I had like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the part was at my door.
Huh.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, it's going to get better down here for us, but I actually canceled my Prime subscription. Because I want to buy North American made is basically where I've put my bike was built in North America, the Goldwing, the Kawasaki wasn't, but I try to buy North American now for everything. I've just decided that that's what I don't want to support others that aren't trying to help out the world. If they're just trying to screw everybody, then
right,
be part of it. So I'm making my little stand. I'm pounding the desk and I'm saying this isn't right, but it's I don't even know. I don't want to piss anybody off. Don't
worry about it.
Line that you float, and I have, that's just the way I want to run it. So when I look at those subscriptions to those things, okay, so eBay, Amazon, Facebook Marketplace, I do buy a lot of stuff locally off Marketplace. There's some good deals on there, and it's all cash, and you don't have to worry about the government getting their hand into it. So I'm happy with that. But I get furious when I order something and it comes weeks later and that you thought you were ordering it from onshore and it's not. And I replied back to them and said, I'll never do business with you again. You're fake. Oh, it was my business cards. That's what it was. It was the business cards for the Jarvis Biker.
We always
and they came from India.
Oh wow!
and they were weeks and weeks and weeks. It was almost 2 months by the time they got here. And they weren't exactly, they were like scaled models of what I had specified for size and font and everything. And they weren't anywhere near what I had ordered.
Hmm.
So, and what do? You're going to return them? No.
Mhm.
I will say we use local vendors for all of our printing because we're small business owners, so we already know these people. But on, like you said, as far as like Amazon goes, usually if I'm Amazon shopping, I'm shopping brand specific. So I'll use my battery as I like the Bike Master batteries, and I can get them pretty cheap on Amazon for like $100. I had one went bad on me like 8 months in. They're a 2-year warranty battery. I called Amazon. Amazon's like, well, you need to call the person that shipped it. So I did. They sent me a brand new battery within just a few days, and no questions asked. And they didn't want the old battery back. But I was specific. I wanted a Bike Master. So usually when I'm shopping on Amazon, I'm looking for a specific brand.
Yeah. And my experience on buying parts and that over the internet is I don't know why you guys keep saying cheap. I have no idea what cheap means. I'm more frugal.
That's cheap.
I like frugal, right? It goes with my heritage, right? But I've bought, and Sonny, like you said before, done my research, checked out, and the perfect example is I bought a set of monster ovals from Vance and Hines, the tips, and I had gone all over the place checking to see what dealers or vendors would charge me, and I ended up buying them online, and they were cheaper, and I had to go and pick them up from UPS, but still. Was able to find that. And also, some of the other accessories, Kuryakin and things like that, if, bought grips or something like that for the bikes, So I've never bought used parts over the internet. Usually, as you said, marketplace on Facebook, you can get in with local versions of marketplace, to deal with that geographical area. So I've bought some things off of there. I could tell you a funny story. When COVID first hit, we thought, we've got a big backyard. We're going to do some gardening. And so we went on to Amazon because all of the local Home Hardware, Home Depot, all of these, the nurseries, they were all sold out of seeds, right? So if you wanted to grow lettuce, you had to order the seeds from, we went to Amazon. And so we ordered them. This was back, I guess, April, right, of 2020, right? And we ordered them and thought, well, we'll order them, we'll get them, and, we'll plant, we'll have lettuce, carrots, and stuff like that in our garden. Well, when they finally arrived, which was, I think, about 3 months after the fact, right? They were from Poland, China. I forget the other place because we had ordered a few of them, and we didn't check to see where the buyer was or the seller was located. So anyway, you're absolutely right. All of you, if you're saying, you got to research Amazon to figure out where these people are, geographically, and before you order, right? But yeah, we got the seeds. I think we got them in August, right? So we didn't plant.
So I wanted to ask the Badgers. I had a couple questions here. I don't know if I can hijack you a little bit, Dave, but I was just curious because when I was watching you guys on your videos, I noticed that you do so many live streams, right? You do a lot of live streams, and I was going to ask you a little bit about that, but I think we have covered that a little bit. And the other thing I was wondering was how many miles do you put on your bike? Because you can ride all the time if you're in Florida.
20 to 25,000 a year.
He rides definitely more than I do.
I don't ever drive a
But-
car unless I absolutely have to. And if I look at the radar and know it's going to rain at 1:30, then I'll try to be back by 1:30. But I'm going to try to dodge it.
He gets pissy. He gets so pissy when he's just like, I can't ride today. I'm like, you're going to be okay. You were on the bike all day yesterday.
I mean, they called their hockey team down there the Lightning for a reason,
Right?
I mean,
My yearly mileage is about 16 to 20 up here. So
I do about 10,000
I ride
kilometers.
Mid-November, till they put the salt down and the salt's gone again. That's
I
my
would
winter.
say you probably put on 15 to 20. I mean, it's going to be more and more. I mean, now that basically our job is to ride our motorcycles, I imagine that goes up.
Yeah.
That leads me into my next question for you guys is how many miles are on your bikes?
Mine, 94,000 on one of my fat boys, 30,000 on my other fat boy, 18,000 on the V-Rod, which I didn't put. I just bought it with 17,000 on it.
Yeah.
And then hers has almost 60,000 on it.
Wow. Great riding there.
That's a lot of riding. The last question I had for you guys, I think that was the last question I had. Oh, I know what it was. No, it was one more question. Was what kind of bike was it you were looking for your daughter?
She's riding the V-Rod.
Okay.
Good.
It was a $1,500 bike.
But I guess you don't have to worry about it when it breaks.
When she drops it,
And she will.
you're dropping a $1,500 bike, not a $15,000 bike.
Yeah.
Angie was the same way. When she got her license, we bought her a $3,000 Honda Shadow Sabre. No, Arrow. 1,100. She put 20,000 miles on that bike. But I told her, let's get you this bike. If we drop it, no big deal. You can ride it. She dropped it twice. And then we actually sold it back to the person we originally bought it from a year later for like 500 less. Put 20,000 miles on it.
Wow.
With a great bike. He owns it again. He loves that bike.
Yeah.
And she got herself a more expensive bike. He wants a crotch rocket.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted. I mean, I can't blame her. That's what at that age, I say this about Harley all the time. Harley wants the young demographic, but the young demographic doesn't want Harley.
No, I think that those Buell bikes would have been a better deal, when they had them.
Well, speaking of Buell, they're starting to build them again in the U.S.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yes. Yeah, I saw that this last week. But I heard something about like Eric wasn't involved. So I need to read more about that because I did see something where Eric Buell wasn't actually involved.
No, I didn't see his name either.
And so that seems strange. But anyway, that's it. She wants a crotch rocket. I completely get that. Until she buys her own, though, she's stuck with the V-Rod.
Yeah, that's my son is he's very much into the crotch rocket thing. Now he did like my Honda Magna, which is a lot like your V-Rod. It's a power cruiser. I mean, thing had 100 horsepower, and it was it really went,
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're talking about buying motorcycles, which leads us into the next question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is, would you buy a new or used motorcycle over the internet? Right. So, Sonny, why don't we start with you? Then we'll go Wayne and Kev.
New, yes. Right, because I'm probably going to buy it from a dealership. There's going to be a warranty. I have no problem buying a new bike. Then it just becomes price. But the problem with that is I don't buy new bikes.
Mm-hmm.
I probably never will buy a new bike. I'll let you buy it, and when you sell it in a year, I'll buy it from you. That's the cheapness in me, right? I worked for a Harley dealership, so I sold new bikes, and it just for me, I can't get past that. It's like a block. But used, I mean, the only way I'm buying a used bike is if it's a rare bike I can't get to, right? So I like rare stuff. So if you're dangling a rare carrot and it's a good price, or if just a smoking deal. So like the V-Rod, I did not see the V-Rod when I told the guy, yeah, I'll give you $1,500 for it. I've got cash. I'll be there tomorrow. I hadn't seen it. I hadn't ridden it. I hadn't touched it. I knew nothing about it. But it was a smoking deal, right? How do I get hurt on a $1,500 V-Rod? I can part it out and make more than that. Mm-hmm. So those are kind of my caveats. If it's super rare, I might consider buying it on the internet. And if it's super cheap, I would consider buying it on the internet.
Okay.
Good. Yeah.
Wayne,
you're up.
Parts I'll buy. A used bike, absolutely not. I would have to, you got to feel it, touch it, do all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's so many things that could be wrong with it that you're not going to see in video or photographs that you just can't, and you can't trust. I mean, unless it's somebody that you know and you know the bike and it's, maybe they live far away and they go, hey, you said you wanted to buy that bike when I decided to sell it. Well, I'm looking to sell it. Then, it's somebody that you can trust that the photos are going to be fair and, he's not selling you a piece of crap. And if, I guess there are friends out there that would do that. But,
I think for me, like Sonny was saying, I would, if it was new, maybe I think, but even then, I'm like you, I wouldn't likely buy a new one. If I was looking to buy a 2020, I would probably buy it in 2021, where somebody else is taking the hit for the depreciation, and then I'll buy the bike. It's got all the stuff I want, but it's a little cheaper. I think I'll do my shopping online. I'll look at all the dealers and I'll look and see what is available, and then I'll know where to go to look. I don't think I would buy like an expensive, like I think like you're saying, your V-Rod, you couldn't lose on that deal. You just couldn't lose. If I was buying a bike that was going to cost me a lot of money, I want to be like Wayne. I want to put my hands on it. I want to see it. I want to find out that, the handlebars are bent or whatever, like you're not going to know that unless you're there, and I want to see it, but I don't think I would buy one over the internet. I would certainly search for it, but I wouldn't buy it there.
So interesting. So I'll come back at this and just say, if you're going to be buying a motorcycle, you usually have the bike show or friends that have motorcycle that you get to sit on, that you get to get the feel of, and you kind of have an idea of what type of bike that you might be interested before you go to the dealer, right? In the sense that I ride a black cherry street glide. Sonny, black cherry, not black. So and it's interesting. So in the US, right? In the US, all of your dealers, or the majority of your dealers, have bikes that you can rent, right? So Rossmeyer's, Daytona, man, I don't know how many bikes they rent for Bike Week, but what do they do with those bikes after Bike Week, right? They sell them at the end of their, I guess, 1 year or whatever or lease fees or whatever. They take all of those bikes and they ship them out to vendors, right, who turn around and sell those bikes. So Kevin, you and I, we've talked about Robinson's down in Wheatley, which is close to the Windsor, close to the border. They specialize in going south across the border, buying all of these used American bikes that have come off of leases. They bring them back, warranty. They bring them back to Canada and they sell them, right? And this is how I bought my Harley, right? I went to their webpage. I researched, looked at the pictures. This is the bike I want because I've sat on it, at the bike shows or, talked to Harley dealers, stuff like that. And you're right. The price is very affordable. But the big thing I talked about to them was, I said, do you get many people coming into the showroom? And he says, no. He says, most people will buy it and we'll ship it to their house. right? So can you buy used bikes over the internet? I'll come back and say yes. Where do all of these, even the dealers are buying these bikes over the internet. They don't go down and look at the 50 bikes that are at a dealer and saying, oh, I'll take this. They buy them in lots.
Yeah, but I'm only buying one.
Bikes from the dealer.
Toby Northern had a comment on there. Is there a motorcycle equivalent to Carvana? And there's actually a few guys on YouTube that I watch that they actually are doing like a small version of that, where they go around and they'll go into a dealer that's and they'll just buy all the bikes out of the building.
Mm-hmm.
Bikes. So they pertain to they don't buy anything brand new, but and he'll just pull in with a trailer and load them all up and take them back, and he's got them in his inventory and selling them, and he's making big money on them.
Yeah.
And but as far as a Carvana type, where it's like, I don't even know. I would ask Carvana if they actually deal in motorcycles, because maybe by now they're probably sprouting off into something like that.
That gives me a crazy idea. We need to create a network. We need to create a network around of bikers that, like Toby Northern, for example. I could call him up and go, hey, bud, I'm looking at a bike. I trust you. Can you go look at it? It's, an hour and a half from your house.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then pay them a nominal fee, whatever that is. And someone that we know knows bikes and we trust can go look at the bike for us.
Mm-hmm. And here's Toby. He just chimed in because he's part of the group. How would somebody buy a bike over the internet without physically traveling to the bike? Every bike I've seen online requires an in-person pickup. Maybe around where Toby is, maybe yes. Up here in Ontario, I can only speak to our experiences. I have a friend that bought a Super Glide a few years ago. Bought a Super Glide from the dealer that we're just talking about. After looking at all of the pictures and everything, he bought it online, brought it home, and it's now his wife's bike, and they ride it. They've had no problems with it. Now, it did come with a warranty, but the warranty on a used bike, I don't think it was all that great, but still, can you buy a bike over the internet? I said, yeah. I guess it just depends on your comfort level and your ability to repair or have a dealership or a friend that has a shop that would be able to help you out with that. So, any other comments on that one? I guess it's kind of.
I think we beat that one to death.
Yeah. Here, I'll just put one more twist on this, right? We're all young, right? We're all in our early 40s, right?
Yeah. That's our story, and we're sticking to it.
40's the new 20, baby.
What's your experience and what's your thought of millennials, right? Millennials buy lots of things over the internet. They're more of a disposable generation. I buy it. If it breaks, I get rid of it. I'll buy something else, right? I see this, in people that we know. How do you think they would react to having to buy things over the internet, like a motorcycle?
I think they wouldn't think anything about it till the first time they got burned.
Yeah.
Because that's normal, right? So you just buy it on the internet. They don't think of all the stuff that you and I would think of, right? What if the guy just filled it up with STP to get it running so I could get it off the lot? What if he welded something together?
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean? Because that happens, right? People know there's something wrong with it, and they doctor it to get rid of it. And if you're buying it online, you have no way of checking that. So you get it, it blows up, and then you never buy online again. But unfortunately, I think that's a lesson that they're going to have to learn that we can't tell them.
I think you're right. I think that's the best answer.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Now, it might be a little bit different if you were buying it online from a dealer, in the sense that if they have to provide a warranty.
If they're providing a warranty, but most dealerships don't. It's a taillight warranty. Especially, especially like HD. Our local Harley dealership, if it's, out of warranty, they don't really provide a warranty. They'll sell you one. But if it's an off-brand bike, they won't do anything. Not only will they not do anything, they won't repair it. So like if you want to go there for an oil change, they'll tell you to go down to the Honda store.
Right.
So that's just one of those pieces.
That's one thing I will say about Harley Davidson. Like I bought my bike used at a Harley dealer, and I bought the warranty. But I'll tell you, man, oh man, I had the warranty for 2 years, and they fix anything, absolutely anything. And did I get the money back for what I paid for the warranty? No. Did I get that peace of mind? Absolutely. Because I never had to worry about anything, because I would take it in there and I would say, this isn't right. They would fix it. And, they fixed everything, like absolutely everything. It was great.
So interesting. Here's Karen, right? She says she got her bike over the online, but she had somebody, the motorcycle transporter, check it out, right? And she's had a great deal with it. I guess that, Sonny, that comes back to your point, right? And you were saying, possible an expansion of supportbikers.com could be a network of people that could, go and check out a bike prior to the owner buying it.
I like that idea for sure.
Yeah. Not necessarily the guy that's going to be not necessarily the guy that's going to be hauling it, because if he gets there and he thinks it's not good, he's more apt to not tell you that, because then he's not going to get the haul.
Karen is in Ireland, so they probably have a little different. I mean, they have a different setup than, of course, we do in the States.
Well, she tried to buy it there locally, and it was way more expensive than what she went through to get.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Okay. So I think we have had a good conversation on that. Let's bring up our final question, right? And so in Canada, you guys are, Sonny and Angie, you guys are so lucky south of us. Warm weather, riding 365 days of the year.
The Wild West down here.
What's that, Sonny?
It is the Wild West down here.
And you've got bike shows, right? So, everything that we're talking about up here is because of, what happened with COVID, right? COVID virtually shut us down with the motorcycle industry, right? And earlier on, I was talking about Lori and I. We both own a 38-foot toy hauler, fifth wheel. That is great for us because we load the bikes in the back of the trailer, and we had.
Right?
I figure we're talking about COVID.
The problem is with that mask, it's not a mute button. He's.
Well, I'm wearing the same mask I wore for the past year.
So let me come back to this. So we've got a toy hauler. We take the bikes, we go places, we camp, and we use that as a base camp to spring off and ride all over. Now, it's also one of the shows that we go to every year, and that show is always towards the end of January. Because the province was in a stay-at-home order, basically a lockdown, the one association, they would have 4 shows: Ottawa, Toronto, or 2 in Toronto, and I think 1 in London. And they would have these RV shows. All of them have been canceled. So the RV industry and the dealers, they got together and they said, let's do a virtual RV show, right? Where people can come and interact with salespeople. They can interact with forums. They can interact with vendors, and they put that on. They called it a mega RV show, right? Do you think we could do the same with the bike industry? And if you do, what do you think it would look like? All right. And who can we pick on first? I'm going to pick on Kev.
You know what? I think that the idea is good. Would I watch it? Would I look at it? I don't think I would certainly spend the time that I would at a physical show where I could go and see stuff. If I've got to click on, stuff to, I mean, let's face it. Nobody has liked all of these restrictions. Nobody. And I understand that this is a worldwide thing and all that sort of stuff. Here in Canada, they've been very strict about the mask wearing and all that sort of stuff. You can't go anywhere without one. You can't pay for your gas without having a mask on. You can't go into a store without a mask on. You can't go anywhere without a mask on. So you have to have one. But the idea of a virtual show, I think it's a good idea. Would I do it myself? Probably look at it, but I wouldn't likely spend the time as you would at a real show. What do you think, Wayne?
Well, I think that like when you go to the bike show, it's so that you can get right in there and say like when I bought the seat for my bike, I went and sat on that seat at the show. I sat on it and sat there and talked to the guy for over an hour to, sit on the sample and sit there and see what it felt like and how long before anything, any fatigue or anything like that. Like I was trying to see if there was anything that I didn't like about it. I ended up buying it later on, but to look over a bike and see all the little new things that they've done and the differences, I don't think you're really going to pick that up unless they're very detailed in their videotaping of the show. Like it's all got to be what the dealer or the manufacturer puts into the video, what you're going to get back out of it. And if they're actually showing you what it is that you want to see. I mean, you can go and say, oh, that new Fat Boy, maybe the guy that's buying it's thinking, well, do I buy the one that is down the road that's a year old and the guy's got really good tires on it? What's the tires on that Fat Boy right from the factory? And you're not going to know it without, dealing right into the specs. They're not going to put that stuff on the video. Where when you're at the show, you would be able to walk right up and look and see, well, what tires are on it. And, if they're not what you want, then you're going to think in your head, okay, well, then I got to change the tires kind of thing. And it's not going to give you the detail. And I think with the mobile home RV clientele, I think it's a little bit different. They're going to want to see the amenities. They're going to want to see a wide shot showing what the home looks like. Where with the bike, it's more of a detailed, small, intricate, these components, what's actually different on the bike and what are they doing. I mean, take the new Goldwing. You want to go to a show before you're going to buy. You're going to want to see that thing. You're going to want to go to the dealer and do a test ride afterwards. It's not going to be the virtual stuff. I mean, they put their promos out there and that was about it. There's nothing that I don't think that the majority of bikers are going to want to do it that way. The younger kids, maybe, because they haven't the experience of getting beat on a motor vehicle deal along the way that the rest of us probably have. So
what do you guys think? Do you think a virtual show would do very good up in or down in the US of A?
Honestly, I don't think so. I think you can do it with like the RV because that's like a virtual house tour, right?
Yeah.
I'm still probably not going to buy it without going and seeing it, but I can basically do a walkthrough of it. I can see all the amenities and have a good idea if that's the layout I'm looking for and that type of thing. On a motorcycle, to me, it's completely different, right? How's it sit? How's it feel? Am I flat-footed? How's the all those little pieces when you're riding a motorcycle that you look at, right? that to me would probably be the no-go.
In an RV, you're not going to be looking at the virtual tour and thinking, well, what brand of fridge is in that motorhome? You're going to look at it and say, oh, it's got a really big fridge.
Right.
Where on a motorcycle, you're going to be looking at, what is that? What is that accessory that's on there, and what is it?
Right.
And
what do I need to add? Is the windshield high enough? I mean,
Yeah.
Too
many variables per. Bikes are personal items. Like you set them up to how you are. Like really, I don't know anybody that hasn't changed something on a motorcycle because they didn't like the original. But
Dead Knot did say that we have our virtual shows, right? There are tons of YouTubers out there riding motorcycles every day that I can go watch about any motorcycle I'm interested in and get 3 or 4 reviews from 3 or 4 different people that have taken it out and ridden it with a camera on. So, I mean, that we have. I'm still not buying it till I set on it. But what it does is it gives me, okay, I'm really interested in that bike. I want to go ride it. So it lets me do that pre-shop, right? So I've got 2 or 3 that I'm really interested in that I want to go ride. And that's something we never had before. So that's pretty cool, right? I mean, we can go to any number of different channels and see demo rides on pretty much any bike we want.
Yeah. Well, that's, in a way that is kind of virtual, isn't it?
It is.
You're watching, you're getting, I remember watching when I'm still very interested in getting a Road King. Yes. I got a bit of a memory issue sometimes, but a Road King, and I watched a few really good reviews. One was by the Lemmy, on and he did a really good one on a Road King, and I got a lot of information from him just virtually that I thought was awesome. Things I wouldn't have thought of.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's an awesome part of, what YouTube allows us that we didn't have 10 years ago, right? Is the ability that, pretty much any bike out there, even old stuff, right? There are people out there that go find and buy old classic bikes, and ride them. And you can watch about any bike out there. You can probably find some kind of video on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's way better for like accessories, like communicators, tires, any of that stuff where everybody's got an opinion on it, and you can actually see how the guy rides, what kind of riding they're doing, and using that accessory that they're talking about in it, and you can get a better picture before you go to make that purchase on those items that you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
That was a question I had, was what communicators are you guys using when you're riding?
Us?
Yeah.
So we've always used Senna Calvary helmets, the half helmets. But Angie just got a full face. So we had a company send us a free communicator.
Wayne's got his.
And honestly, when we connect on our GoPros, it's really crackly. So literally,
Cena.
Like where
all the Cenas do that.
I have this literally just came in the mail yesterday.
30K.
So I am going to now.
You're still going to get the crackling.
Notice what this says.
Certified refurbished, yes.
Because I'm cheap.
Yeah, I bought my 20S.
It has a 2-year warranty on it. I'm like, how do I go wrong?
Yeah. I bought my 20S's that I have, and I have a set of 30Ks. And now I'm running Cardo Pack Talk Slims on our 2 modular helmets. And I have the Calvary for the hot days.
Mm-hmm.
So the Calvary,
I kind of got hurt a little bit during the summer. I sunstroked myself a little bit, and I'm actually older than everybody thinks I am. And it caught me. It caught me bad, and I was probably a couple of months before I felt better, and it wasn't until the cold cooler weather came that I started wearing the full face again. And so I got the cavalry helmet, and now I got it set up with the camera on
So
it.
the cavalry's connected really well together, and
They
we
do.
can log
Yes.
with zero crackling. The other
Right.
one, when we connected, I could talk to her and it sounded crystal clear.
Yeah.
But when my camera picked it up, it was crackling.
Yeah.
So
You use the audio pack? Is that what you're using for the camera?
yeah, I have a Bluetooth audio pack
Oh, from Rhodes?
from Senna.
This one.
They have a Bluetooth audio pack that plugs into the back of my GoPro.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I use.
Yeah. So it wasn't, we could hear and talk to each other just fine, but I think just because it was two different companies.
The
and them
way it
trying to-
connects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's the thing with the Senna. So like they're all you get that popcorn noise in the background, even just riding with nobody saying anything.
we did not experience that yet. Just crackling, like really garbly. Like when you're talking, it's just really garbled.
And with my Goldwing, it's wired. I've got the SR10 for my Bluetooth to the bike, so that I can use the CB and everything wirelessly.
Gotcha.
I've got 2 free wires in the trunk. One is hooked so that it's paired with her helmet, and the other one is paired with my full face. So when I switch helmets, I can still do all the Bluetooth stuff, and I don't have to reprogram this to the other helmet.
Right.
Just,
So yeah, I got to install that.
if Kevin can testify to the fact that there's like a lot of crap going on my bike that nobody knows is going on.
Wires hanging everywhere.
Well, I ran out of Bluetooth connections, so that because you have to pair phone and GPS. They all take phone connections. So to get away with one extra phone connection so that I can have this and my GPS both connected at the same time, I bought a pair of Bose sunglasses that are Bluetooth. I'm going to Bluetooth them to my phone and then leave all my other connections for that. So it's
A bit of a secret agent, man.
So I just want to ask one other question to the Badgers there.
Here, can I just
I just want to know how hot it is down there.
We're actually almost about to set a record today at 90.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a little too hot.
Let's see what it is
I'm not complaining.
at this very moment. It's only 79 right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
It was +2 Celsius when I went out for coffee this morning. So that's, I don't know about, what would it be?
I want to say hi to Harley girl. Hey, sweetie.
So it's right now it's +3 Celsius up here.
Yeah.
So it's still cold. It's still cold. All right. So listen, before we jump into other topics,
We're just so we know, we're at an hour 23 minutes. Right now.
We're way over.
I would like to chime in on the COVID, right? On our question number 4, right? So I'm going to come back at you and saying it's a missed opportunity. If we take a look at the bike show, what are the things we like about it? And maybe us being YouTubers has kind of leaned me towards this, right? So how many people, watched the release of the Pan America, right? How many people?
I did a live on it.
Yeah. Listen, I did too, right? How many people watched the release of the upcoming 2021 Harley Davidson?
I did.
Mhm.
Didn't like it all, but I did.
Yeah, so did I. But if we go back to the initial reasons why we said we like going to the bike show, A, it's the atmosphere, B, it's the camaraderie, and it's opportunity to see new products, right? Not necessarily to buy, right? Not all people go to the bike show to buy bikes or to buy accessories. They go to see what's going on. So if we come back to it, could we have had a bike show virtually? Yeah, each manufacturer could have right? Put an agenda, right? Because the RV show, even though it was virtual, went over a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? You could do the same thing with a motorcycle show, and each dealer or each manufacturer could have created videos, right? And had a feature like 10 o'clock, Harley's going to roll out their 2021 and the Pan America. And people would log in to watch the video. If Cena had new products coming up, you could have clicked on accessories and gone and watched their reviews and that. On their forums, you could have had, well, the Badgers, right? Supportbikers.com normally have a booth at the show. Well, instead of having a booth, they're going to log on for an hour and have a live stream, right? So could you have done an online fashion show? Yep. Can you do an online, bands playing? Sure. You all of those things. I'll go down to the other part to say, if you were really interested in buying a motorcycle, the RV show, what they did was they set you up in a FaceTime with a salesperson that walked around the RV live with that person answering all of their questions. So if you wanted to say, what's the fridge? Well, here's the fridge. Let me open it up. Let me show you the sticker for that. If it was a bike, you could say, hey, listen, I want you to pan that rear fender because I want to see if there's any scratches, right? So I'm not going to say that it would be successful in the sense that it would draw all of the thousands, but the RV Mega Show went from 4 shows down to 1 show, right? More work for the people that are putting on the show. Yeah. But at the same time, as a person that needed that, well, I'm missing the RV show. There's still something there. Nothing from nothing is still nothing. Whereas a partially successful RV show, or, for us up here in Canada, you don't have this problem where you are. And
it's better than
we're really looking forward to warm weather.
I would love to see ROI on something like that. Here comes the business guy out in me, right? So you spend X amount of dollars to put on this virtual show. Did you make any of that money back? I mean, I wonder what the ROI for that is. So
return on investment, ROI.
Yeah. Well,
there's more guys, I knew that.
Sometimes we have to explain.
Okay, anyway, but so that's it. Kind of like the Harley show. I mean, if they would have turned that into a sales event, I don't know that they'd have sold any bikes. The Pan America is going to sell a lot of bikes because we've been excited about it for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when I worked at the dealership, we preached keep people under the ether, right? My job was to get you straddling the bike, then it was to get you to demo ride the bike, and then it was to get you to sign paperwork. And if I let you out that door, my chances of selling you that bike went way, 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 way down.
Right.
And there's no ether online. In fact, I'm ADHD, so I'm doing 4 other things while I'm watching the show. And I may miss the selling point that would have sold me. And that kind of that.
People don't see stuff in video, in websites and stuff. Where I work, we have a really good website, and it breaks down all the different products that we sell. And there's actually a part where they take 3D models of all the parts, and like it'll show the one piece of equipment. And if you just sit there for a couple of seconds, it actually explodes out into individual parts, and it lists and names each part. Wow. Because we're worldwide. There's so many other companies and terminologies for the same part that sometimes with the language barriers, we run into the fact that we don't know what they're asking for. And we've actually put that tool on our website for people to go, and I'll take them right to it while I'm talking to them on the phone and say, just wait a couple of seconds and it's going to burst open and you'll see everything. And they didn't know that existed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to get the SolidWorks guys to take that time out of there and let it do it almost immediately. So people don't leave the wet, like say they got slow internet or something in a, far off away land, like customers in the middle of Australia that are out in the boonies and the internet's not that fast. So it takes a while for that to actually happen. So I want it to happen faster. And the reason is they just don't know it's there, and they never would unless we were talking on the phone and we got into the conversation about the part and what it was called. And well, we call it this. Okay. And then they've gone and looked, and I've shown them where it is, and then they know it's there. But we must have had hundreds of customers out there that didn't know it was there. So, you find those changes. Now that's something that when Dave mentioned that the guy will do a virtual with you, you can log in and get a Zoom meeting with them. That's a good feature, and I didn't know that existed, but that's probably a good thing.
Again, the conversation, do you want live shows where you can go into 10 and swing a leg? Absolutely. Right. But to have absolutely nothing, there's a void there. Right.
I think a way they could combat that is all these brands should be utilizing social media influencers.
Oh, absolutely.
I think so many. Well, and there's two sides to this. So here goes me jumping up on my soapbox. So there's the social media influencers that are just super excited that this company called them and said, hey, I'll send you a helmet for you to wear, and all you do is a review for us, and that's our trade. Right. But that's evergreen, right? They're selling helmets off that video for years. And so a lot of times we undervalue ourselves as social media influencers, but the companies, since we undervalue ourselves, the companies undervalue us as well. So, I mean, if I were a local dealership and all I could do is virtual, I would have a salesperson, or I would hire somebody to come out and do videos on every one of my bikes that I could send you if you're interested in a bike.
Yeah. You know what? And I'll just throw, and you're absolutely right. And I think as being a YouTuber has opened my eyes to the sense of what's out there, how people are being very creative. I bet if I was to challenge each of you to say, listen, we're going to do a virtual motorcycle show, right? How are we going to do it? Each one of you would come up with 4 or 5 different ideas of how you think it would make it successful and attract people. If people tune in to watch our video, we might get 100, 200, whatever, of people just interested in watching our show here today.
Right.
I'd say they'd be just as interested to see, out of curiosity or out of the need to have something to replace the void. They would tune into a virtual show, right? Maybe not to buy a bike, maybe not to buy parts, but just to have that feeling of, I want to be involved, I want to feel connected to the motorcycle community, and this is an opportunity for us.
The one thing you talked about, and it came up in the chat, is I don't think I'd want to pay for it. If it was a virtual show, but it was free, that would be one thing. I wouldn't want to pay to go to a virtual show.
So right on that point there, the RV show, and I don't mean to come back to the RV show all the time, but it's the one.
That's the one
It was free. Everything was free.
Yeah.
Was it free for all the vendors? What value would be in it for the vendors? If I put on a motorcycle show and I wanted Kuryakin and I wanted LED Light Company and I wanted Zero 3D and I wanted all of those to be vendors within my show, I probably would want to charge something for that because I'm putting a lot of time to put this show, and what's the value proposition there? If they're not selling and they're just showing, how do I sell that to somebody?
That's a good question. You know what? Maybe what I should do is reach out to the association to put on the show, and maybe we should have a repeat and bring them back and see what they think.
I'd love to know the angle of that. I mean, We're kind of like knee deep into this because we're getting sponsors and all for the World Record Poker Run. So we're talking value propositions with a lot of people. How many influencers are going on the ride? How many riders are going on the ride? How many people are going to come to the stop? I mean, these are the questions that they want to know as they invest their marketing dollars, especially now. So people's marketing budgets have went down because they're not selling as much stuff due to COVID. So the entire dynamic of the industry has changed, and they're really looking for, all right, what's my ROI? How do I gain out of this?
Okay. Hey, Sonny, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Your poker run ride from Florida to South Dakota, is it going to be virtual?
So that's a solid question. A lot of it is going to be virtual because we've got a lot of YouTubers and Facebook people that are going on it. So yeah, you're going to see that. But we have been asked by people in other countries if we could do a virtual poker run version so that they could participate without coming over here and riding the ride. We told them that we would do something like that if we have the capacity. So once we get everything lined up for the actual ride, then we will work on maybe putting something together where everybody that is in Canada or wants to participate has a way to participate online.
Question for you. Your poker run. Can you tell us when it is and what you're raising money for and what it's all about?
Absolutely. So it is. So July 29th is the kickoff party here in Port Charlotte. We leave the morning of July 30th. We run from July 30th to August 6th. On August 6th, we pull into Sturgis. We will have set the world record. And of course, that is the opening day of the world's largest motorcycle rally, Sturgis. And we're raising money for a foundation called Biker Down. So once everything is paid for as far as what the actual poker run costs us, all money is donated. So this is not a profit money maker for us at all or anybody except for the charity. So once the bills are paid, charity gets all the rest of the money.
Along the way, we'll have meetups so that people that cannot actually make the ride with us, when we go to, we have certain events that are already set up. So it stops, we'll do an actual Moto meetup party where everybody's welcome to travel to that location and party with us that night.
Our first stop is Maxwell's Motorcycles. So any of you that know
well, that's cool.
That's our very first stop, and that's our first card pull and a party. And then we go from there to Little Rock, and then we land in Eureka Springs.
The whole town of Eureka knows we're coming.
Right.
We're there.
With the Andre ones, if you guys know who they are, they'll be part of the ride. And then we're from there to Amarillo, then Durango, then Golden, then Cheyenne, and then into Sturgis.
Wow.
So 8 days, 7 nights.
How many hours a day are you going to ride?
So that's kind of the beauty of a poker run. We're going to ride as many hours as you want to. So the only thing that you are required to do is, of course, hit the mileage, but you don't have to stay in the same town we do because it's a poker run. We're not riding in a big group. You go at your leisure. So if you've got something you want to stop and see along the way, stop and see it. If you don't want to stop in Little Rock and you want to go on to Eureka the night before, you're welcome to do that. You control that piece. You just need to be at our card stops. So we're going to have 5 card stops, and a certain hours you have to be there, like let's say 6 to 10. You need to be there for the card pulls. Otherwise, you ride your own ride, you're being GPS tracked. So mileage, and then however many people complete that mileage. So it's pretty free roaming as far as what you guys want to do. If you want to go to Eureka and ride the pig trail, you absolutely can.
And how many people are registered?
So registration has not even opened yet. Registration opens on March 1st, so Monday. It's open till May 31st. There is no late registration. If on June 1st you reach out and say, I want to be part of the World Record Poker Run, I am sorry, you cannot be. That's just the rules. So far, we did a pre-registration. We've had about 150 people say they want to go. That's just on pre-registration. So we're figuring 400 to 500 people. We don't know for sure.
Hmm.
Ask me
Wow.
on Monday.
Right.
So can we have you back on the show probably towards the late August, early September, and get a report back from you guys?
Anytime you want to. I
That'd be
will tell
cool.
you this. The entire month of August, we're going to be on the road. So once we leave Sturgis, we're going over to Milwaukee to Harley Davidson headquarters. And then we've got sponsors and all between there and here. So we're going to spend about 3 weeks stopping, doing videos with our sponsors, maybe hitting a couple of bike shows. We've got a Harley dealership in PA we need to go to. So we're going to be coming back across the country and then down. So we're going to be gone for probably about 5 weeks.
Wow. All on the bike.
All on the bike, yeah.
Wow.
Have you reached out to the Guinness Book?
Have we what?
Reached out to Guinness Book of World Records?
Oh, yeah. They're the ones that gave us all the rules and regulations. We're working on getting an official here. COVID's kind of playing that funky. So we've told them that we want it. A Guinness official is expensive. It's $12,000 just for the official to come officiate it.
Wow.
And right now we want the official, but they're like, we don't know what it looks like if we're going to send one or not. If we don't, here's all the rules and what you need to do, and then you just turn in the information to us, and we'll give you your record. So one's instantaneous because he can be there and he can officiate it and say you've got it. The other one will take us a few weeks after the run to get the official, hey, you broke the world record.
Wow.
Or set the world record? Is it setting the world record?
So it's setting and breaking.
Yeah.
You want to take this?
No, you're doing good.
So anyway, it's setting and breaking. So currently the world record is held in the UK. It is 3,123 miles. The original record, though, was just 3,123 miles, and there was no requirements for amount of people to run it. So literally, Angie and I could say we're doing a poker run. We could go 5,000 miles and go, oh, we set the world record for the poker run. So Guinness did not like that. So Guinness is like, now we are going to change it. We are going to count amount of riders and total mileage. So if we have 400 and 400 completed, the new record will be 400 people at 3,200 miles versus just 3,200 miles.
Well, good stuff. Good stuff. Guys, any other questions? I'm looking at our time. Angie, Sonny, thank you very much for all your time here.
Is there anything else you want to plug before we leave?
WorldRecordPokerRun.com, guys. Join us.
Yeah, join us
it's
in on the
going to
fun.
be one of those epic trips that you're going to tell your grandkids about, and they're going to tell their grandkids about. It's just one of those things. I mean, imagine loading up with 400 other bikers and traveling across the country to set a world record.
And if you can't go, at least help us put the word out there.
Right,
So
because your
that-
neighbor may want to go.
Yeah.
Right?
I know that there's rumblings on this side of the border. I don't want to say too much, but we're going to see what you do, and then we're going to crush your record.
As long as we can join, we don't care.
So two things. We've heard that, and we welcome you. But the one thing that you can never crush, we were the original ones to do it.
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
The original ones to do it.
There you go. Well, guys, listen, we've really gone over our time. Thank you very much to Angie, which is Mama Biker or Mama Badger, right? Sonny, the Badger, right? And you've got a whole Badger clan there, right?
We do. Baby Badger, Grandma Badger, Grandpa Badger, Nerdy Badger. We got the whole.
And I heard Grandma Badger put her Can-Am on 2 wheels, right?
Yes.
Yes, she did. She took a while.
Well, listen, guys, Wayne, Kevin, thanks for joining us again this week. And we wish you all the best. And as always, ride safe, be safe. And we'll see you again soon. All right?
Thanks for having us,
Thanks
guys.
for everybody on the
Hey,
side and everything that's going on too. So it was awesome.
we appreciate it. Guys,
Next week's Kev's house.
It's what?
It's Kev's house next week.
Ah,
That's right. Kevin's got the next two.
I'm running the live stream next week, so it'll be on Superman Kev 2001.
All right, guys, make sure you go over there, subscribe, and follow along for all their great adventures.
Do you have a guest too, Kevin, or you just
Me.
I don't know yet. Working on it.
Kev, Lori wants to come on the show.
All right. Then Lori will be on the show.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's going to work. Okay, guys, we're just going to end this now. And again, take care, right?
Bye.